What's up, everyone? This is Logan Couture, and you've just heard.
Welcome into this week's episode of You Heard, where we feature athletes, celebrities, and influencers talking all about their NFL fandom. In this week's episode, we've got San Jose Sharks star Logan Couture joining us. Logan, thanks so much for taking the time to chat a little football in the middle of hockey season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we know you're from Ontario, so you're close to Buffalo. When did you start following the Bills?
As long as I can remember, I was born in '89. So I was growing up during the heydays of Buffalo football where they went to those Super Bowls. And my uncle was a big Bills fan, watched every game. So I think he got me in the Bills stuff when I was young. My dad was actually a Cowboys fan. So I chose the Bills over the Cowboys. This is as long as I can remember. The Bills are they're neck and neck with the Blue Jays for the two teams that I watch and follow the most. So I'm happy to see the last bunch of years how much success that the Bills have had.
So you grew up during the heydays, you said, the 90s Bills, when it was Super Bowl after Super Bowl. What do you remember most from those incredible years?
Unfortunately, the losses.
Oh,
That's what sticks with me. I was 3, 4, and 5. I think the last couple. So just hoping that they can get over the hump here soon.
yeah. Speaking about the group now, what you remember from this group is all the wins and the fact that we've got an incredible quarterback here in Josh Allen. As you reflect on Buffalo's season so far, what sticks out to you this year?
It's been wild going into this year. I mean, at least myself, I try to follow it as close as I can, but my expectations weren't as high as they have been in years past. Obviously, made some moves in the summer, and the start was good. Then we lost a couple in a row, and the team's been playing unbelievable football. Josh is as good as he's ever been right now, and it's been fun just to go into watching games with the mindset that the team's going to win. Is It's a different type of mindset, and I'm excited. I mean, big game on Sunday coming up here, and then the real thing starts for him.
You said you love watching Josh Allen. I think everybody enjoys watching a quarterback like that who can do so much on the ground and in the air. He's broken so many records again this season. Why do you think he deserves being named the 2024 NFL's MVP?
I think just because what I said, the expectations weren't that high. This team wasn't supposed to be as good as teams in the past, and Josh has played just on an extremely high level all season. Maybe he's had a few tough games, but other than that, he's been on top of his game. I think he deserves it. It could go to maybe Lamar as well, but I think Buffalo fans would be upset if that were to happen, and I agree with them.
You spoke about the fact that a lot of people thought this team would maybe take a step back. The expectations were different this year because so many different faces walked into this building in the offseason. Is there any player on this roster that surprised you this season that you've really enjoyed watching?
I think just the whole receiver group,
Mhm.
Shakir, Coleman, they got Amari Cooper. Everyone stepped up. Different games this year. It's been fun to watch. So creative on offense. Different plays. I just love to watch to see what they're doing. James Cook as well has been unbelievable. They've been able to run the ball the last year and a half a lot better than they did prior to that, and I think that'll help them in a few weeks.
You've been out in San Jose for so many years. Is it hard being a Bills fan when there's so many California NFL teams around?
There's a lot of Niners fans in this area, and the Niners have had a lot of success the last few years. So it's nice to see the Bills having a great year. The Niners are having a down year. So yeah, I'm proud to be a Bills fan out here.
You're such a talented hockey player. Do you think you could make it in the NFL?
No, probably not. I don't think I have the size. Even though I think I'm 6'1", 200, I think I'd still be considered small in that sport. I've played with a few guys. One of our goalies that we just traded, Mackenzie Blackwood, he's big enough and to play tight end or something like that and strong enough. But I don't know if the sports translate that well. Much different type of action where the NFL is, a sprint really for 5, 6, 7 seconds per play. In the NHL, you're on the ice for 45 seconds. So a little bit different. Be tough to find a guy in our locker room that could do it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is there any current NFL player that you'd love to see put skates on to see? Can you do this? Do you even have a chance?
think a lot of them probably have never skated. It's just a guess. I know there's been a couple. JJ Watt comes to mind that he played when he was younger. I'm sure some of the Canadian NFL players played hockey at some point in their lives as well. But sure, I'd love to see Josh Allen try and skate. I don't know what his skill level would be, but it'd be entertaining.
He seems like he's just the type of athlete where you try any sport and you're going to be good at. We've seen it in golf with him. He's continued to get better, I think, every offseason at the game of golf. I think if he put his mind to anything, he would be good at it.
Yeah, I watch him in that Tahoe tournament every summer. I watch one of my good buddies, Joe Pavelski, playing that, and it seems like Josh has fun playing in that tournament.
Well, Logan, you've played in more than 900 NHL games, over 100 of those in the playoffs. What are some memories that you're never going to forget in your career?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. The first 10, 12 years here in San Jose, we had a legit chance to win the Stanley Cup every single season, and got to play in a Stanley Cup final in 2016. Unfortunately, we didn't win that. We lost to Pittsburgh. Game 7 against Vegas comes to mind in 2019 in the playoffs. We were down 3 goals. We scored 4 in a 5-minute power play and won that game in overtime. And then away from the Sharks, I won the World Cup in 2016 with Team Canada, and the tournament was in Canada. And that was special. That's something I'll never forget. Being a Canadian kid, you always want to represent your country, and Canada's or hockey is our sport in Canada. So that's something I'll always remember.
You mentioned hockey is Canada's sport, but it seems like every year the NFL continues to grow in certain countries, and Canada's, right over there, right next to Buffalo, not a far drive away. Is it time to bring a yearly NFL game to Canada?
Ooh, I mean, the Bills were going for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Toronto there. I don't know how much success that game was generating. It seems like they're trying to expand over in Europe, and I know that they're finding some success over there. I have a lot of friends who are Bills fans in the London to Toronto area, so I know a lot of people would love it. We'll see.
So I want to talk about a guy on your team who has a bright, bright future ahead of him. Your teammates with the 2024 first overall pick and Macklin Celebrini. What do you love most about the way that he plays the game?
The first time I saw him play, I knew he was going to be a superstar. Some kids and players just have it. Tenacious, his drive, his work ethic, his skill level is obviously off the charts. To be the first player taken in the draft, you have to be extremely talented, and he is. And his work ethic, his will to get better. It won't be long before he's a top 10 player in the NHL. It could be in a year, it could be in 2 years. He's that good, and he's going to be that good. So Sharks fans are very lucky that we have him, and I'm excited to see what his future entails.
Comparing the NHL from when you first were drafted ninth overall in the 2007 entry NHL draft to where the game is at now, what are some differences that you see in some of the younger players now coming into the league?
That speed is the first speed and skill. This game, I don't know if it does in football, but our game, it changes every 5 to 7 years, the style of play. And when I first came in, it was bigger and stronger players, and the game wasn't played at as quick of a level. Now it's fast. I mean, I only played 6 games last year dealing with an injury, but very, very quick. The kids are all good when they come out, and guys can make an impact at 18, 19 years old. And back when I started, that was a very, very difficult thing to do. So the game's getting better. It's getting better for fans to watch. I think the NHL hockey is as good as it's ever been.
You mentioned younger players in the NHL. Well, in the NFL, you get drafted so young, and some of these rookies are really expected to perform in their first season. The Bills have gotten a lot out of their rookie draft class. And with that, you look forward to the playoffs. What's ahead for this team? What do you think this group is capable of in the next few weeks?
I haven't followed extremely close this past week, so I'm not sure what they're doing with who's playing on Sunday here. But I'm sure they'll have a good plan for those guys, so they're ready the following week. But I think for them, they're just trying to stay sharp, get some reps in practice, and be ready to go whoever they play.
Why do you think this could be the year the Bills make it to the Super Bowl?
I really believe that to get to the very end, you need to learn so many different things in the playoffs. And this team has obviously had its fair share of heartbreak with some of the players that have been there. And I remember in 2017 when they made the playoffs, that game against Jacksonville, we had a hockey game, so I couldn't watch. I was devastated. And then the 2019 game, we were traveling when they lost to Houston, and they've had some tough ones against Kansas City since then. So I think they've learned from those games, and I would love to see them go all the way this year.
Yeah, 6 straight years now in the playoffs. Some of these guys who have been around for that long, I think, are true pros when it comes to how the playoffs are, what you need to do in the playoffs, how you approach them, and then the guys around you bringing up some of those younger players as well. One last question for you. What is something that you love in the NHL that you think the NFL should adopt?
Ooh. Um, that is a tough question. What do I love in the NHL? I don't know. See, I haven't really been to a lot of football games. Our seasons are overlapping. I try to go if we ever get time on the road when the Bills are there. I got to go to see a game in Tennessee, so I don't really, the NFL. The one thing that impresses me is how deep your team has to be. It's not just the 53 guys or whatever the roster is. You need to have 60 or 70 guys on your team ready to go, and that's what impresses me about the front offices in football and how detailed they are in bringing these very good players in.
Yeah, especially the fact that there's no, like, I mean, your system that you're choosing from is college football, but there's no in between in the NFL where you have a farm system where you can watch these guys really grow. It's kind of like, hey, you're in it, and if you can make it, you stay, and if you don't, you're out of the league.
Right, right. Yeah, it's wild. There's no American Hockey League equivalent in the NFL, so yeah, it's different.
Well, Logan, thank you so much for chatting with us about this group, why it's so special, and sharing some stories about why you love following them.
No problem. Thank you for having me.